Hey there, connoisseurs. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also, the channel that was created by a retail investor for retail investors and home to the best MJ community. Today is Wednesday, September 4th. Hope you're doing well. Happy hump day. In this video, we're going to be discussing Tilray Brands, a post that I made on X today. Getting a lot of pushback on that one. People saying that I was saying that we're bullish, and now I say we're bearish. I meant in terms of the longer term, we were looking good, which means months. It could mean, multiple months. Whereas in the short term, when I'm talking, days and weeks, it's not looking too hot at the moment. And it's not just Tilray, it's the whole MJ sector at large, even with all the great things that we're seeing from the political campaigns as well, and more rhetoric that's been spreading in terms of MJ. It's just this month is historically bad. It's called SeptemBEAR for a reason. And it's taking a toll on a lot of this sector. There's some, kind of outliers at the moment, but overall, the charts are the charts, and we're just going to look at the technicals and what to expect, right? It's all about support and resistance. It's not a crystal ball. I don't have a crystal ball. Some people might think I do, but at the end of the day, it's just probability, right? At the end of the day, so it's just about looking at support and resistance. So far, support is holding, and so far we're unable to break resistance. So we're just stuck in this range. And we'll go over support and resistance and what we need to see to negate the pattern that I was talking about today on X, formerly Twitter, and what we need to see to confirm it. Before we get to it, though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and you should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. And full disclosure, I do own Tilray in my portfolio. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And fun fact, they're actually going to be releasing the XTV app. It's in beta right now to compete with YouTube and the likes of Netflix. So very, very exciting times. This was the post that I made about 4 hours ago right here. So if you follow on X, you would have seen it already. I said, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is a possibility. I'm not as confident it will play out because descending triangles are usually found at the end of a bull run and not near the end of a bear market. And we've been in an almost 4-year brutal bear market at the moment. So with that being said, it's all about $1.50 support USD on the NASDAQ for Tilray. Lose $1.50 and it confirms. And I brought it up on the chart here, which we'll look at in just a moment, but I did want to highlight this news that came out yesterday. So it's September 3rd. Tilray Brands completes acquisition of craft beer brands and breweries from Molson Coors Beverage Company. We still haven't seen any dollar figure associated to this, the deal price. We were discussing this in the Pow Group private community today amongst private members, but I don't think they have to. There's certain things that they have to disclose, like there's different forms, like 8K forms and things like that, but I don't think that this has to be disclosed if it's like a minor purchase or acquisition. But it'd be nice to have Tilray on. I'm working on trying to get them on for an interview, and it'd be nice to see. And maybe they can't even disclose it. And then also we still haven't got a dollar figure for the Belleville facility that they sold. So, which was the old trust facility. So I'd like to get some insight into that. And if anybody does have any information, like I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a securities lawyer or anything like that. So I don't know exactly, how the law and regulations, but if there was anything illegal going on here with them not showing the price, the SEC would be on it like white on rice, right? They're two very popular and public companies, like Molson Coors, right? $10 billion market cap. So if there's anything illegal or shady going on, I think they would, report it if they had to, right? If they were doing anything illegal, like I said, the SEC would be knocking on their door the same day. But this is the pattern that we're looking at. So a descending triangle, generally, it's about a 50-50 chance that it breaks or doesn't break to the downside. And again, just to kind of go over my thought process, like let's say this pattern was up here after a big bull move, and then I'll get the brush tool out here. And then let's say we saw, a similar pattern where we had a horizontal line of support and a diagonal sloping resistance line. Well, I'd be more confident in a descending triangle playing out there because we're coming off of a big bull move and we could potentially see some downside, right? After such a exuberant move to the upside. So now the fact that we're in an almost 4-year bear market after, how much did we pull back here? Let me just go from the top from February 2021 to the lows here. We're down about almost 98%. So what are the odds that this would break to the downside? I'm going to put it at somewhere around 30%. I'm not as confident because like I said, we're rejecting and we're holding support right now. So it's all about 150. As long as we hold 150, we're not expecting this to drop another leg down. But again, all about support and resistance. If we lose 150, that confirms it. And we'll want to close a monthly candle below this to confirm it. And we've got 25 days left. So there's a lot of time here. We could wick below. It could be a huge bear trap. But at the end of the day, generally you want to close outside of that. And using the real candle bodies here, you can see if we were to close above that resistance, which would put us at, if we just go to this candle on this month, that would put us around 215. So rule of thumb is you want to see preferably 3, but at least 2 candle closes outside of that pattern, right? Whether it be bullish or bearish, to get that confirmation. So in order to negate it, I think we need to see 2 monthly candle closes, preferably 3, outside of this resistance, and that would be about 215. So if we can see 2, preferably 3 monthly candle closes above 215, then we will not be expecting this downside. But if we lose $1.50, then you just take your measured move here from the support to the resistance line, and then move it out to your support line, and you get a measured move here of about 76 cents. So again, I wish I could tell you that we were looking at an ascending triangle, which is the opposite, right? So an ascending triangle is when you have a big bull move, and then you have it'd be at the top here. So you'd come down like this, and then you would see a sloping line of support, right? And then you would have a horizontal line of resistance. So that would be the opposite. And then generally those break to the upside. And if you move that out to over here, that would give you your measured move, right? So let's say that happened in theory, we'd be looking at a move up to around 86 bucks. But because it's the flip side and it's a descending triangle, it's actually a bearish continuation pattern with a series of lower highs and a horizontal line of support. So again, it's all about support and resistance. So far, we haven't confirmed it. We haven't negated it. We're still in this pattern. And theoretically, it could keep going for another couple of quarters. It's saying, into March of 2025. And, we've broken out of it here with a couple wicks, but nothing, we've never closed outside of it. So in my opinion, I like to use the real candle bodies. It's still intact. So again, it hasn't confirmed. It hasn't been negated. We're just stuck in this range at the moment. And it's all about the monthly time frame because we still need to confirm monthly uptrends. If we essentially hold this double bottom here at 150 and come up and break resistance at 340, which was the high of this bounce, we've just been in equilibrium really since then. And like I said, a descending triangle where we're stuck in this range where we're low, high, higher, low, lower, high. And then we actually saw a bear break, but not much follow through. And even that, is a nice double bottom. And in my opinion, not telling you to buy, sell, or hold, but that's a solid entry there, right at the all-time lows. If you think Tilray is going to survive in 5, 10 plus years from now, which I do, I think this could be a once-in-a-lifetime buying opportunity. And this might be the last time that we see Tilray at these prices again. But the only reason why I think that this might confirm is if the S&P 500 were to see a sizable pullback, right? We're sitting at, 550, I think, on SPY at the moment is what we closed at. Yeah, 550. And we could be, there's a daily bull flag targeting 597 and a monthly bull flag targeting 622. But then I think we're going to see a .com style crash. Check out my video, how would MJ hold up if the stock market crashes? I did a video just on that. But, if we were to pull back, look at NVDA being subpoenaed and antitrust. They did the same thing to Facebook and like Google and Microsoft as well back in 2022, whenever we had that massive pullback and all-time highs. So they're kind of taking the same playbook to NVIDIA. They don't, release a lawsuit and subpoena and antitrust lawsuit whenever it's at, 52-week lows. They do it whenever it's at 52-week highs and just had a reverse split, a regular stock split. So this is how they do it, right? They use you as exit liquidity on these regular stock splits, right? And if we just take a look at Tilray, like I said, the most likely scenario, I don't think that this is the most likely scenario. I'd put it, a 70% probability we're going to negate it, maybe 30% probability we're going to confirm it. But again, it's probably not going to be anything related to news for Tilray or the sector. I can't see any bearish news from the sector or Tilray. If anything, we're going to see headwinds. They're going to be launching their hemp drinks and Delta 9 beverages into Texas. And this move right here, they even mentioned Texas here. So they say it also anchors Tilray in Texas, the second largest beer consumption state, and expands Tilray's craft beer portfolio across beer markets, adding 30% new buyer accounts. And then right here, it talks about all their beverages, and then it mentions recreational MJ, beverage brands, Molo, and XMG. So if they're going to use those similar formulations that they're using for Truss and Molo and XMG into those hemp Delta 9, that could be huge business, right? So and they're starting in Texas, and they've just got the distribution now in, I think it's over 40,000. I think it's close to 50,000 distribution points from that, just these acquisitions of these 4 craft breweries from Molson Coors. And they're starting in Texas and New Jersey, and then they'll more than likely go to 25 different states, just like Curaleaf just did. So there's that, and then there's, rescheduling is chugging along. We got the hearing for December 2nd, and I think Florida's going to pass MJ. We've got Donald Trump, so a lot of people were skeptical on how, what his stance was, and I posted multiple videos yesterday. The full clip on MJ, Psychedelics, and Truth with Lex Friedman podcast. He's on there saying medical MJ has been amazing, and he loves the idea of Florida. He met with TrueLeaf CEO Kim Rivers. I did a video on that, so if you haven't seen those, you can check it out. But all of these things, right? Germany, they've got the first cultivation license under the new regulations. They've got a huge head start, #1 market share in Germany, #1 in Canada. There's going to be expanding into the U.S., not just from a alcohol beverage perspective, but now from a hemp Delta 9 perspective. And as far as I'm aware, there's no excise tax on that. So looking good, right? So things are starting to turn the other way from a Tilray perspective fundamentally, and the sector's looking like it's going to have some positive catalysts. But if we were to see the S&P 500, drop back down to below, like we were just at 510 on the S&P not too long ago, right? So if we see a drop below 500, before one more final blow off top moment, this could happen, right? We could see a pretty hard and fast drop down to around that 76 cent mark. I think the chances of, again, this happening is around 30%. People are asking, what about a reverse split? I think the chances of that is like less than 10%. They would still have to go out of compliance, and then they give it 180 days, and then 6 months, and then they get probably another 6 months extension. So I can't see that happening at all, to be honest with you. Even if it did, it wouldn't be the end of the world. There's tons of companies that have done it out of the majors, but end of the day, it's all about support and resistance. It's a little concerning here too on the weekly time frame. We just lost a 10-week moving average. We're seeing a stochastic and a MACD bear cross on the weekly, so not great. The only glimmer of hope here is this daily golden cross that could confirm over, call it the next couple of weeks. But just because we have a golden cross doesn't mean that we're going to, the moon right away, right? It can take sometimes it can take multiple weeks, multiple months before we see sustained price action to the upside. So we're still also battling the 50 weekly moving average, and the 100 has been the brick wall. So get above 231. We've got some runway there until about 653. And I mentioned this before as well. It's all about monthly EMA 12. You can see we haven't seen multiple candle closes above that. We'll want to get 3 candle closes above that, which is sitting at 204. So again, that descending triangle there at 215. If we get 2, preferably 3 monthly candle closes over 215, I think it's off to the races from there. And then we could be gearing up as well for a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, which would be the first in history. So again, it's all about support and resistance. I wasn't trying to spread fear with this. I got a lot of people messaging me directly and in the Pow Group private community and on X messaging me. And I just wanted to come on and do a video clearing that up. Again, don't hate the messenger. I'm just relaying what the charts are saying. And I wish it was an ascending triangle and a bullish continuation pattern that I could report. But unfortunately, I'm trying to remain unbiased. And again, it's not about guarantees. It's about probabilities. And at the moment, it's anybody's guess, right? It's a 50-50 chance. Usually, whenever you look at that type of pattern, but I would say it's probably, like I said, somewhere around that 30% chance that we did confirm it. And if we did drop to, $1 or sub $1 to that 76 cent mark USD, I don't think it would be like we would stay there very long, right? It would be a very, very fast recovery, in my opinion. And I'll definitely be loading the boat if we do dip below there. But going down it there, it's Rod with Pow Group. Hopefully this was helpful and a lot more insightful to what exactly I was trying to say, right? Whenever I say that something is bullish medium to long term, I'm talking, from a monthly perspective, right? Multiple months potentially. If I say short term, it's usually a matter of days or a couple of weeks or something like that. So apologies for any confusion. I know some of this stuff is kind of hard to wrap your head around, but it's all about just kind of, going through the ringer and getting your feet wet and, learning from experience. But going in it there, it's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.